Cyber attacks happening right now all across the US. And right before Christmas, the gift that just keeps on giving. Supply chain attacks. Infections invade back-end cloud. Communications have been cut off, and there's a chance that hundreds of credit unions will go offline indefinitely after the next wave of these planned ransomware attacks in America. Plus, I have more information that everybody needs to know about and ways to protect ourselves and keep us safe. After more unauthorized withdrawals hit more customers at major US bank, and what exactly is triggering these transactions without account holders' consent? Is Norton or LifeLock the best way to stay safe and keep our money protected? Or instead, are hard assets and precious metals like gold and silver the best way to go? The answers and so much more that I have put together for you in this video that needs to be watched closely and listened to very carefully because they have warned. The US is in serious trouble, and Jamie Dimon says to be prepared for a recession. All of this and so much more that I have to share with you that is happening right now. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think the sleeper cells have been activated here on US soil? Or is this the work of the WEF being put into action? Maybe worse. Now, I don't know that I can say with 100% certainty that is all fact, but it does seem like strangely odd and coincidental timing, given that Israel just hit a dead end and has reneged on negotiations in Qatar, and what we have been already warned to be on the lookout for and to be prepared for by FBI Director Christopher Wray and the White House just a few days ago. Hello everyone, it's me, Kevin. I hope you're all doing well. And despite the sound of my voice, I actually don't feel entirely terrible. I don't think I have that pneumonia thing, white lung going around. Hopefully not. I think I'm on the up and up. I just sound really bad and it hurts when I sneeze, but that's pretty much it. But I got to tell you, this is all playing out just like we saw at the end of 2022, in my opinion. Now, when I first shared with you back then my thoughts and predictions for the new year, and right now I feel the same way. So for that very reason, I'm going to begin an accelerated process and a system of getting ready and being as best prepared as we can possibly be for 2024. Now, it will be more of the same, and honestly, that's not good. No matter what way you look at it, with the slightest glimmer of hope and reprieve still roughly 11 months away. And there's no guarantee that we'll get what we want and or catch a breather then either. So they're saying that Americans are headed right for another big problem. And the term is called doom spending. And I know why this trend is so worrying for me, but first, let me share with you the facts, okay? CNBC Personal Finance reports nearly all Americans are concerned about the current state of the economy, but still many continue to spend more and save less. And this doom spending may be one of the ways that people are coping with the stress as economic fears mount. So for those of you who, like me, are first timers hearing about this new term, doom spending is essentially the latest trend that over a quarter of consumers are engaging in right now, where they continue shopping and keep spending money and charging their credit cards despite economic and the geopolitical worries, which is crazy when you think about it. Just unbelievably shocking, because describing everything right now as widespread economic concern is a little bit of an understatement. So listen to this. 96% of Americans express concern about the current state of the economy. That's pretty much everybody, right? And despite inflation and high interest rates that are impacting budgets, a record 200 million shoppers participated in Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. And this year's holiday spending is anticipated to reach up to $966.6 billion, which would make it a new record level. Perhaps this is more of a problem for Gen Z and millennials who may be more prone to this irresponsible spending mindset, or maybe their parents just didn't teach them how to manage their money responsibly. Now, especially when the economy is bad and we are at war. But with their increased screen time on social media and getting sucked in and locked into another dangerous and growing trend of doom scrolling. Then one thing just ends up leading to another, and not only will doom scrolling likely cause severe psychological, mental, and emotional harm, but it will likely cause a domino effect, which will harm their financial health too. So right now, US credit card debt exceeds $1 trillion, and 73% of Gen Zers say that they prefer living in the moment over cutting expenses. Needless to say, Taylor Swift concerts tickets are sold out, and the future of this country just looks grim, y'all. Now, these financial challenges for young adults coupled with high inflation poses a significant barrier to financial success for Gen Z, with 53% citing increased living costs as an obstacle. And professionals in the industry and folks from Bankrate note the discouragement among young adults who don't understand or place value in the long-term benefits of savings. And that is another growing trend, the non-saving trend among Gen Z workers, because right now, Gen Z constitutes the largest group of non-savers, period. But perhaps that isn't also bad, considering how bad the banks are and the fact that our money isn't even safe anymore. Or was it ever? So customers at one of the largest banks in the US say money is mysteriously exiting their account for no apparent reason. And can you guess which bank it is? Here, take a look at your screen, because we have talked about this many times before. And I really hope that none of you have been impacted by this problem. But people who bank with PNC are noticing unauthorized charges and should check their balances for signs of unexplained withdrawals being deducted from their accounts through online banking, mobile apps, ATMs, or inside brick and mortar bank branch locations. Well, that is if you can still find one of these left standing, because PNC just continues to make more and more announcements of more and more bank branches that are closing their doors and shutting down for good. And the news has been leaked by customers of PNC, one of the largest US banks, who are all experiencing unauthorized charges in their accounts. And naturally, these charges are causing concern among the bank's clients. Now, at a time when Money Watch says Americans need an extra $11,400 today just to afford the basics. Now, I want you guys to stick around for more on that later in the video. But first, let's wrap up this story with PNC. So a PNC customer noticed a strange withdrawal from his account, sparking concerns about potential scamming activities, and the unauthorized charges are showing up as pending debit, with varying amounts being deducted from customer accounts. And in response, PNC Bank has acknowledged the issue, attributing it to a processing error. And they assure that their systems are secure and have not been breached by hackers yet. I don't know. That kind of sounds like, to me, it's like when somebody comes up to you and they tell you something that doesn't really jive, and they go, but it's not a scam. I feel like that's the dead giveaway that it is a scam. So when PNC Bank says, we have not been breached by hackers, I feel like, I don't know, maybe. Meanwhile, the bank has initiated steps to rectify the situation and promises to automatically reverse any incorrect transactions. And in an attempt at keeping worried and concerned customers at bay, preventing them from essentially storming the gates, PNC has advised that there is no need for customer intervention and have told customers not to contact the bank regarding these withdrawals, as they will be automatically corrected. Hey, it's just business as usual here at the banks, and now PNC. And now it's like, can you imagine, like, you live in a world where your bank account is obviously there's something going wrong, and your first thought is to not call the bank. That's what they want to condition folks to do. Okay, whatever. And this incident marks the second time in recent weeks that PNC has faced issues with account balances, and previously on November 14th, there was a problem with duplicate pending transactions in some other customers' accounts too. But don't worry, y'all, it's only money, right? Yeah, just the money that people need every penny of right now. American households need $11,434 more per year just to maintain their 2021 standard of living. And we haven't even seen the numbers of 2022 or worse, 2023. This is just the beginning, and it's reflecting the highest inflation in 40 years. And this information is based on a study by Republican members of the U.S. Senate Joint Economic Committee, utilizing official data like the Consumer Price Index. So it clearly identifies that, in contrast in public experience and economic indicators, that despite a strong economy with low unemployment, many Americans are struggling financially, feeling the impact of inflation more acutely than economic improvements. And I gotta ask, would you agree? And from the government's perspective, the Biden administration disputes the study's accuracy, pointing to a 16% increase in disposable income since December 2020 and job growth, noting that inflation is linked to pandemic-related factors, including stimulus measures by both the Trump and Biden administrations and global supply and labor challenges, where some 60% of working Americans say their earnings have not kept pace with inflation, according to a Bankrate survey. And there continues to be disparity between wage growth and inflation, which is why we have seen and will see more labor union strikes and perhaps an increase in the collective bargaining power of Teamsters unions over their employers and these companies and these businesses over the next 12, 18, maybe 24 months. And while average hourly wages increased by 13.6% since January of 2021, inflation rose by 17% at the least, with major spending areas like food and housing driving additional costs, because food and energy don't get factored into CPI numbers. So that's how they kind of dance around that one. But here, take a look at the screen. Here's a map that shows just how much more it takes to keep up. And you can see that the differences between states like Texas, Ohio, California, Florida, New York, Washington, Alaska, Hawaii, all of them. And the financial impact of inflation varies by state to state, with Colorado experiencing the highest additional costs and Arkansas actually the lowest. Local economic conditions such as housing costs significantly affect the inflation impact in different states. And there is a greater burden on lower income households because, as we're all well aware, inflation disproportionately affects lower income households, as a larger portion of their income goes towards essential expenses to just try and to keep their heads above water, which is extremely important and why we should pay very close attention to statements that are being made like these. Jamie Dimon says to prepare for a recession and mankind faces huge risks. So Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, warned of potential inflation increase and a looming recession at the 2023 New York Times Deal Book Summit. And he highlighted various global factors contributing to inflation, including the need for funds to support the green economy, remilitarization, and addressing energy crises. Now, Dimon expressed concern about the economy, noting the impact of inflation on people and the fading effect of stimulus money and the quantitative easing used during the COVID shutdowns. Now, he warned that further tightening of monetary policies and geopolitical issues could have negative effects. He also spoke about the possibility of the Federal Reserve continuing its aggressive interest rate hikes, potentially increasing rates by another 1.5 percentage points, reaching up to 7%. And on geopolitical matters, Dimon emphasized the dangerous global situation, pointing out conflicts in Ukraine, Israel, and Gaza, and their potential impacts on energy, food supply, trade, and international relations. He raised concerns about nuclear blackmail, nuclear proliferation, climate change, and the risk of another pandemic. Dimon stressed the importance of American military strength and leadership to maintain Western unity and address these challenges. And regarding JP Morgan Chase's business in China, Dimon said the bank works with TikTok's parent company ByteDance and is involved in the IPO of the Chinese company Shein, or Shine, Sheen, one or the other. I did a video on that the other day. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. And he stated that he will follow the U.S. government's lead on business dealings in China and does not view companies like Sheen as a national security threat. Now, he affirmed that JP Morgan Chase conducts due diligence on all clients, countering concerns about TikTok's potential national security risks. And be that as it may, I'll let you all decide how you feel about that one. And about what one of the richest men in the world has to say about the safety and future protection of your money. And more ransomware attacks are happening. Ongoing operations. A cloud IT provider has disrupted services for about 60 credit unions in the U.S. And the National Credit Union Administration, the NCUA, which regulates and insures these institutions similar to the FDIC, has confirmed the outage caused by the attack. The NCUA assures that member deposits at the affected credit unions are insured up to the $250,000 or $250,000 limit, and ongoing operations owned by Trellance was targeted through the Citrix bleed vulnerability, and the company, specializing in disaster recovery solutions and other IT services, irony, acknowledged the ransomware attack on November 26th and has engaged third-party specialists for investigation. Although there's no evidence of information misuse, the investigation is still ongoing. Mountain Valley Federal Credit Union in New York, one of the affected organizations, noted a nationwide issue, and Trellance, the vendor of their computer operating system, was attacked, leading to system downtimes. Trellance assured that member information was not compromised and is transitioning to a new server system. Neither Trellance nor Mountain Valley CEO responded to inquiries, and ongoing operations stated that the incident is isolated to a part of their network and they are working to minimize service interruptions and enhance data security. Now, Trellance, with hundreds of customers across the U.S., is collaborating with FedComp to resolve the issue, and the NCUA has notified the U.S. Treasury Department, CISA, and the FBI about the cyber incident. Now, Michelle has a full video that goes into great detail, so go check out Squirrel Tribe after this. And most importantly, remember that we just want you to have all the latest news and information so that you can be best prepared to do all you can to be safe, well, and keep your family out of harm's way. Thank you guys for watching. Check out the Patreon link below in the description. Have a happy Sunday, and we'll see you guys real soon. Bye for now.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence, but I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow, all the fake fans gon' pop.